In the retirement fund space, we've crossed a significant asset milestone. As one of the fastest growing retirement funds in the industry, we now manage just over 10 billion in assets. And if I think back to 5 years ago, when we were back in the old Discovery building, and I remember a specific day, it was you and me and Kenny Rabson, Francois van Aarde, and Craig Scheer. And we're in this boardroom with a blank whiteboard, no retirement fund product, and the question was simple. How do we design a retirement fund product that truly changes member outcomes? And that's when we slowly emerged with the models, the product models that are in our product today. And 5 years later, we managed 10 billion in assets. But for me, how many members is that? That's 60,000 members, more importantly, that now belong to an ecosystem where behavior change and a change in outcomes is possible. And that's what our product is all about. When we look at the data, how is that panning out? Are we seeing a change in behavior within those members?
The short answer is yes, very encouragingly. But let me show you some stats on that. Firstly, we've got an opportunity because our staff scheme is on the retirement fund. It's a large scheme, about 12,000 people, and we can work very closely with HR to drive communication and kind of make it our flagship for how this product really comes alive. So what we've done with our staff scheme is we ran a communication program towards the middle of the year, and we're able to now track some of the data coming out of that. And it's hugely encouraging. So what I'm going to show here is the differential in preservation rates. There's quite a lot of detail on these graphs, so people can kind of screenshot it when it's at the end and study it later. I won't touch on everything. But what it shows here is a differential in people's preservation rates when we look at how they've engaged in certain aspects of our product. So one of the key aspects of our product is an ability for someone to see their projected income in retirement in today's Rand terms, and it really profoundly shifts a person's kind of mental map of what's going on and what they're saving for. And it also then helps that person to put in place a plan to close that gap, a contribution plan, either immediately increasing contributions, many people find that very difficult, or committing to a slow increase in contributions over time. And we were interested to see, of course, that will, on a projection basis, show that people who are contributing more are more likely to close their retirement savings gap. But what I was interested in is the behavioral dynamic. Having engaged with your retirement fund in that way, does it shift the way that you think about that money when you come to a preservation decision? And the answer is absolutely yes. So the people who are engaging with that projection tool and making a change to their contributions, any change, have a far higher preservation rate than those who don't. And in fact, those who have a significant change in their contributions have an even more significant effect. So the people who are contributing a significant amount more than the default level have a 71% higher preservation rate, and it's about 60% higher for those who are just making any kind of contribution change. So that's really encouraging. The second one then is around our boosts, and I'll look at kind of two aspects of that. Our boost, for those who don't recall, is that we know people don't keep their money preserved. If they did, there'd be more money in the system than there is now. Right. So we take the fees earned on that more money and we give it back to those people in the form of an immediately visual incentive. And that's called a boost. Money that you will get if you keep that money invested to retirement. And of course, that means that, for the people who stay all the way to retirement, we make less margin than we would otherwise, a lot less. Is that worth it? And this answers again with a resounding yes. For those who have more in their boost pot, for those who have a significant amount kind of across some behavioral mental hurdles of what is valuable, what is a significant amount, the preservation rate is 150% higher than those who have less in their boost account. And then just thinking about how people engage with that boost account, we've also got an ability for someone to opt in or not opt into boosts. They earn the boost anyway, but they can actively opt in. And so we looked at those who opt in, and then especially those who opt in and are actively contributing to those boosts every month. And for those who opt in, you can see on the right-hand side, from the grey to the blue, a big shift. But for those who opt in and are sort of engaging in the monthly contribution boost program, a 48% increase in preservation. Dramatic changes in people's chances of getting to a dignified retirement because of the way we've designed the product, coupled then with effective communication. The more people you can get to engage in these sorts of things, to understand them, to appreciate them, the more you can shift people dramatically from what would otherwise have been their behavior, the kind of self-destructive in the long-term behavior.
Right.
So yeah, very, very encouraging outcomes.